Welcome on in. My name is DJ Williams, here with the rest of the crew of 4th and 5. We got Josh, we got Matt, and we got Grant Cook all over the place right now. Fellas, having a good time. Thanks for hanging out with me just for a bit. Let's get right into it. Let's waste no time. We got to talk about it. A lot of switch-ups, a lot of change at the University of Arkansas. Went from extremely being disappointed after that game against Notre Dame. And then you move back around to see what we got going on as far as looking forward to what the future holds. We went from no hope to okay. Things get a little interesting. Yeah, when stand by 1 second. I think our audio is coming from the mainline speakers. We can cut that out and just bring it from my little speaker right there. And I'll have my people in the back. There he is. Look, my guy's with me. Hey, the crew over here at the mainline, top notch. I think that's what he's looking for right now. Can't beat it, guys. They got great wings. They got great drinks. They even got axe throwing over here. Right now, I'm in this golf simulator. This is where people, they can play golf. You can't see it back here, football, soccer, all these things. And, Mom, maybe you can help me out with that. If having somebody cut the audio from the main line and just come out of my speaker, I'll let you hold on that. Working on it. Can you cut the audio? Yeah. I just want this sound to come out of this. Boom. Mike? Okay. Now turn us up, Dave. Is that better? No, it is coming out of there. Fellas, we'll figure this out. David, you can turn down our speaker, and we'll just use their audio. Sound like a plan? Boom. All right. Let me know when that switches. All right, guys. Hey, look, we got to tighten up. We got to focus. Not off to a great start, but we got to make adjustments and move forward. Real quick, I want to talk about your quick thoughts when it came to the news of Coach Pittman being fired, and then we'll get into all the Petrino talk. Matt, I'll start with you, big dog.
Not surprised. Right? I think this was coming, honestly, maybe a season late. But, people forget really quickly, we love Pittman. Turn that damn jukebox on. 3 bowl game wins. Like, there's a lot of good times with Pittman. And this is just the story of college football coaches in general. Hired and fired. There's 2 types. And it was time for Pittman to go. The locker room was clearly lost before halftime in Notre Dame. I was talking to our buddy, old Lucas Miller, 88, Mr. Snowman, double snowman. And, man, it was tangible. You could see it. And when that happens, it's stuff like this that's got to happen, So sad, unfortunate, but also an exciting chapter ahead.
Yeah, you say an exciting chapter ahead. Y'all stay tuned for Matt's thoughts on who the interim head coach is. We'll talk about that here in just a second. One of Matt's favorites. But, Josh, I'll move forward real quick. Obviously, we talked about this after it happened on our podcast, but since then, a lot has developed.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed earlier today getting to watch Hunter Yurachek and Bobby Petrino sit down next to each other and kind of get questioned on, how a lot of this played out and what their plans were, moving forward. And I just found it interesting when Hunter Yurachek was getting asked questions about the coaching search, yet sitting right next to the guy that wants to be named the coach throughout this coaching search. So it was a cool little dynamic getting to see that press conference, but I think that what Hunter Yurachek did was the right thing to do. I heard him talk about, picking out this week to do it, being as though we have this kind of week and a half before we play again. So all makes sense. But you got to imagine for Bobby Petrino right now, man, the wheels are turning. What can I do to get this team ready? How can I talk to these guys in the team meeting room to create some synergy and get these guys ready to, first of all, stick together and don't do any in-season transfers, but also, go out and play for me, because what we saw against Ole Miss was a lack of these guys playing on the field with that effort and the willpower that you want to see a Razorback team play for on the field. So they let go of the rope. Now Petrino's job is like, hey, grab back on the rope. Let's hold on because I got a job, I like that.
Grant, tell them about that drill we used to do it was off-season training, and we had a towel, right? And when it comes to I'll just let you explain.
Yeah, so you're talking about the one where it's man versus man?
Yes.
Yeah, so you get a towel. Essentially, it's 2-man tug of war. It's you versus the other person, and it's, no holds barred, right? You get to do whatever you want, flip around, roll somebody over, push, whatever it is. But the objective is to get the towel away from the other guy at all costs. And DJ, how'd you fare in those?
What kind of question is that, man? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I think I had to go against DJ. Then they always put on offensive defense. I'm getting dirty. I just bows.
I'm not going to sit here and lie. I don't even think I did it. I don't think I did it. No, I didn't. So y'all go ahead and handle all that nonsense. But Grant, we haven't had a chance to talk with you about everything that has transpired after that game. We saw how you were post game. Man, you were really disappointed, but you stuck it out, stayed to the very end. Now moving forward, you did say you're not a fan of firing coaches mid-season, and here we are. Thoughts on it?
Yeah. I mean, not a fan of it. Now, the scope of college football has changed, and things change. Portal, all those things have changed in college football, and we've got to be able to make decisions based on the current state of the game. And so, if that makes sense to get rid of Coach Pittman mid-year, then so be it. That's that athletic administration's decision to make. I'm sure all the pros and cons of that decision were weighed and measured in a group of people. To Matt's point, hate to see Coach Pittman go as an offensive line guy. It was great to see a guy that coached the position get a shot at playing or coaching being the head coach of a team. But I agree that the product on the field was not something that we wanted, right? And so something had to change. Bringing Coach Petrino in, I think, makes the most sense based on who's on that staff and who has the experience as a head coach, who can bring these guys back together and try to hold it in for the next 7 games. And for, to Coach Petrino's want, I guess, is much, much longer term than that. But I think for the next 7 games is what everyone should be focused on. The next 9 weeks, I think, is what they kept saying in the press conference. You got 2 bye weeks, one of them this week, and then you got 7 games. So can they hold things together? Can they turn things around? I think that's another question, right? I mean, it's not just at this point keeping the wheels on the bus, but, we're going to put spinners on it, right? Try to make it to dress it up a little bit. And we'll see that. But I think, the other piece, and not trying to go long-winded here, but get rid of 3 main defensive coaches. There's some question marks, I think, for Razorback fans on how is that going to look? I mean, who's going to call the play in to the guy wearing the green sticker on his hat on the field and all of those things? So there's some question marks still out there, I think, for everybody that we've got to get solved. But, I'll end it with hate to see Coach Pittman go. Some really good memories, a lot of field storming, all that, but agreed that it was time for maybe a different
Hey, DJ, I want to play a little game with you guys real quick because you told me don't be long-winded.
Hold on, but before we get into it, to answer some of those questions, defensive coordinator will be Chris Wilson. Chris Wilson, who's a linebacker coach, came in, and so he'll be responsible for those play calls. But we already know Coach Petrino is going to do his part and have his hand in it. But Josh, go ahead. What you got?
All right. I just want you guys to give me, a little bit of one-word answers here. But let's just say, hypothetically, we come back in 2 weeks, we play Tennessee, and we win. They're ranked number 15 right now. Does that put us into the top 25? I don't think so. But let's say after that, we go into Texas A&M. No, DJ, keep the forefront up. I want to see all y'all's face. We go into Texas A&M, and Coach Petrino pulls out a victory against Texas A&M. He just beat Tennessee. He beats Texas A&M, currently ranked 6. What happens to Arkansas then? Do you think they're in top 25 now?
Hey, Antoine, in the words of Antoine Robinson, Josh.
Hold on now. Hold
one
on
word.
now. I understand that. I'm just play this mental game with me.
Okay,
let's say he goes and does that. Then he goes to Auburn. They're unranked, but he pulls out a win there again. You see where I'm going with this? This season could still be alive if Bobby Petrino could have a little bit of magic. Now he goes down to Mississippi State after that. What if he wins? What if?
I want to know.
What if he taps back into that? What if he taps back into that one possession game that we had against Ole Miss, who's currently top 10 team? What if he can turn that over? We actually score there. All I'm saying is we go to LSU. They're ranked 13th now. What if we win that?
Josh,
this season could easily
wait. We're about to go to the college football playoffs based off what you're about to say.
DJ, I'm just saying when you start thinking about it, a couple pieces of magic, Petrino magic. Next thing you know, this season is not gone.
So if that happens, this is what most likely is going to follow, is that people are then going to be convinced that Coach Petrino really did sabotage Pittman when he came to town. If we miraculously go from scoring 7 points in the second half against Ole Miss, 3 against Memphis, and the only touchdown scored by your offense is from a 6'8", 370-pound true freshman. Redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, what's going on here? So if we turn things around, that'd be pretty wild.
I'm not saying that's going to happen, boys. I'm just saying we went down to the wire against the number 4 team in the nation. And y'all said we should have won the game.
This. I hope that's a problem we have.
Yeah, that problem.
I hope that's a problem.
We went down to the wire,
truthfully. And I think
we went down to the wire with the number 4 team in the nation, and all of y'all said we should have won that game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So based on y'all's logic, we might be ranked.
Yes, I think if you win all of those games, you end up in the top 25.
But then Pittman's not fired.
It's
Pittman's team.
Well, it would be very fascinating because what you hear most about Coach Pittman is that he has the love within the football team, and like the guys love him.
Yeah.
So if they were to miraculously turn around, because we saw a lot of stuff with the effort being a big issue. If they'd start playing for Coach Petrino just out of the blue, I just feel like that's highly unlikely, because this is what I know. Effort and all that stuff, yes, if it changes, great. But how many times have we seen on tape that we have a big issue with just talent? I don't think Coach Petrino being there, we're going to miraculously get maybe a defensive tackle who starts getting 2 sacks a game and getting pressure up the middle. I just don't see that happening. And so, but I hear what you're saying. And so this is going to be, we ran the press conference today, and we all heard what all was said in that press conference. And, we already know this is Coach Petrino's now chance to pretty much apply for this job. So I'll ask you this. Right now, as it sits, let's just say you can noticeably tell his approach is moving from a direction of complacency to now guys playing much harder and taking much more, effort into their craft on the football field. If you see a little bit of that, I don't think you necessarily need to win out for him to get this job, but you need to see him move in the right direction. Do you think Coach Petrino is the right fit to be the next head coach at Arkansas? Oh, you don't want that one, Josh? He was talking.
Oh, you wanted me to?
Yeah. He was talking for 10 straight minutes.
We know Josh's answer.
I didn't talk. Look, I cut that to 45 seconds. That wasn't 10 minutes. I just asked y'all a question.
Yeah.
Man, look, I don't know. We're going to see. But I'll tell you what. I had somebody come into my office today.
I want you to answer the question first. Do you think he is the right fit to be the head coach at Arkansas?
I think Bobby Petrino is the right fit to be the interim head coach for the University of Arkansas.
Oh, we all agree with that. We're talking
about continuous. I think what he does for the rest of the season will tell us if he's the right fit for the University of Arkansas. I mean, I think that number one, DJ, that comes down to can Hunter Yurachek go secure some serious funds with Bobby Petrino as the head coach?
Yep.
If he can do that, then he's the right fit for the head coaching job. I think whoever is the head coach that allows Hunter Yurachek to go secure financial backing, some serious financial backing, not only for the coach, but for our NIL collective and funding and that kind of thing, to get us on a very competitive playing field in the SEC, that's who our head coach needs to be. And we talked about him. Is he the recruiter that he used to be? And you got to be, man, now that you're NIL, you just have to have the right dollar bills. That's what you need.
I get it.
Well, that's a good comment.
I like it.
Right there.
Hey, I'm living in it too. Matt, what do you think? Coach Petrino, future head coach. I mean, who would have thought when all that happened that we'd even be having this conversation again? But here we are. Matt, what do you think about it?
I have 2 things. One, objectively across the board, when you fire a new coach, there is an excitement in the air to go get a new coach. Speaking from a Cowboy fan perspective, if anyone out there is familiar with our head coach right now, we hired from within, and it was a very dull and boring hire, and no one loved it. I think hiring from within isn't exciting. But with that being said, one of my biggest issues with Coach Petrino, being fair, DJ, is he was 18-15 at Missouri State. That concerns me. There's resume in modern football. He doesn't run an RPO. We know his family well. I don't wish him ill, but he was with A&M, didn't really do stellar numbers. He's been with us, and don't get me wrong, like it's a stats game, but he's got to do what Josh did, I think. You can't just go and have a mediocre 50-50 year and hire that guy.
Yeah.
We're fans now, y'all. Like, we're on the radio. We're fans. We're alumni. And I want to see the Razorbacks go and interview a dozen coaches. They better not just give this thing away. Even though if he's doing really good, there's a lot of up-and-coming coaches out there that we need to be talking to. And surely we are. We're going to do our vetting process. But he's got to do Josh Throneberry's scenario for me. College football playoff to be dramatic. But it doesn't feel right. Can I get an amen? It just doesn't feel.
Yeah, well, hey, what I don't want, don't pin that scenario on me. That was a scenario that was brought to me. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Well, that person's out
I'm just saying, if you guys think about it, if he goes and pulls off some magic, all of a sudden, I don't know how you don't give him the head coaching job. I just like to play that out because it was brought to me, and I started doing the math, and I'm like, well, gosh darn, they're ranked now. How'd that happen?
Yeah, because he won out and he went undefeated in SEC play or had one loss. Like that's Saban stuff. Let's call him back. Can we get Saban? Can I put his hat in the name or name in the hat?
Name in the hat. Well, this is something we're going to do a little bit later, Grant. I'll let you chime in, but I have a list right now of CBS's top potential coaches, and we're going to start digging into these guys. One name that was left off that list that's starting to circulate a little bit is Dan Mullen. Who is a former coach at Mississippi State. I think he's at UNLV maybe right now. I could be wrong. But he's another name that has apparently expressed interest in the job. So, but I mean, I got 9 more names to kind of go through, and we'll talk about those here in a little bit. Some will be names you haven't heard of, some very familiar, including names like Gus Malzahn. I mean, those are all going to be popped up. But Grant, you see this comment on the screen. I want to ask you this. Will he give players the ultimatum to buy in or hit the road? Kind of like what we saw unfold when Coach Deion Sanders went to Colorado. He said, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, pack your bags and hit the road. You see that conversation happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, honestly. And we all kind of lived that physically, mentally, and emotionally in 2008. And so, I mean, I think, but honestly, not to be unfair to Coach Petrino in that sense, I think that's probably warranted at this point. I mean, if you're not bought in, then I got to know who's in the boat with me, right? Who's holding the rope with me? And you got to go to work with who you got. But if you got guys that are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, I don't know that you'll ever be successful. And if this is truly an audition for him for the coaching position that he wants to take back over, he's got to have the guys that are bought in out on the field. I'll say kind of my 2 cents on the previous question. I kind of have 2 things too, which is one of them is the Coach Petrino that we experienced, which was really hard line. And I mean, do you want to be here? Do you not want to be here? All those things. He has got to, in today's day and age with transfer portal and all those things, that's going to have to soften up to a certain degree, right? Some coaches can still get away with that. I think if you're Kirby Smart at Georgia, you can coach however you want to coach because, hey, we're going to go play for a national championship. Well, that's not been us for a long time. And so you've got to build that winning culture. And then you can go back to coaching pretty hard because kids are going to understand what they get. But if you don't change that up a little bit, I think you're going to lose kids to the portal year in and year out, which is not I mean, that's something that obviously happens regardless. I mean, you can look at Coach Pittman's record. We lost a lot of talent to the portal last year, but I do think that is something there. Now, second thing is do I think that he possesses the ability to be a head coach and win games? Yeah, we saw him do it, but he's going to have to go do it with the team he's got on the field this year. I'm kind of with Matt and Josh. There's going to have to be some really special things happen with the remaining 7 games for me to be like, hey, yeah, no doubt in the world, let's go get this thing. Because I think as a fan and as a person who played there, Arkansas is a great job, and I want to see him be successful. So don't just give it to the next guy. Let's go out and put the feelers out for everyone, and I mean everybody. Go shock the world with this hire. I, for one, didn't think John Calipari was coming to
I still
the
can't
University
believe
of
it.
Arkansas
Yeah.
as a hire. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, why – and I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but I mean, but no coach in my mind should be like, oh, no way, he's taking this job. Hey, make the phone call.
I think you just got to make the phone call with enough financial information there to give somebody confidence to come play at Arkansas. Yeah.
100%. 100%. I'm not saying just blatantly, just blindly call people and say, hey, you interested in this job? I mean, you got to attract them to come here. 100-year checks recruiting a coach just like the coaches are going to recruit players. So you've got to go do that. I agree, Josh. You can't just call them blindly. There's got to be some magnitude to that phone call if you're going to call the guys that.
And as it stands today, as it stands right now, they're playing Saturday, October 11th against Tennessee. Do they have any chance to win that game?
I mean, before they played Notre Dame, this is what I think got Coach Pittman fired in the staff as well. Going into that game, based off what we've seen on tape from Notre Dame, based off what we've seen on tape from Arkansas up until that point, there were some people thinking we could mess around and make this a ball game. And so we were a team that was able to compete at a high level. But when you have that type of showing, that is a direct reflection that the guy up top, they don't believe in him anymore. They may love him. They may do all this. And I've seen all the social media posts with everybody posting hearts. They're posting thumbs down that he got fired. They're posting, pictures of I love Coach Pittman. Well, those are just words. I don't think their play reflected it at all. I'm thinking if you really wanted that man around, then explain this film to me. We're actually going to watch some of that film here in a second. And so all that being best friends and all that stuff is great, but can you get them to perform at a high level to the best of their ability? He was losing that within the football team, hence, in my opinion, what got him fired. So, yes, I do think you can compete. This sounds crazy. We've just already seen it this year. You can compete with this team. It's just, are the players going to stop getting in their own way? Now, on the road at Tennessee, a team that's trying to get revenge from last year, you think they forget about that game? No.
But that's not what I asked you, DJ.
And then you got 100-something thousand fans. I think it is an extremely tall task, and I personally, at this moment, don't see Arkansas winning that football game, but I would love to see if there's some kind of resurgence of a team that has players out there that can at least want to compete at a high level.
Okay, so I just want to –
But, Josh, you said, can they win the game? I think they're going to field the team to go out there and play the game, so there's obviously the probability is low at where we sit today, but – if they believe they can go win and they put a product out on the field that's competitive, then, I think they've got as good a shot as, I'll say as anybody. But at the end of the day, they're going to go play the game. As I used to say, we didn't get all dressed up for nothing.
I just want to play a little bit of that devil's advocate, because if you guys are all sitting here telling the Razorback Nation that they could have beat Ole Miss and should have beat Ole Miss, and now we still have the same team but a better head coach,
Josh, I'm going to help you out.
We can't beat Tennessee, or we can?
Mindset and heart. You have the same talent out there. That guy, Sorey, is a Sunday guy, and he's played like crap. His mind was not in the game. They lost the locker room. Great example is a guy like Houston Nutt. If Houston Nutt did not have Reggie Herring, our defense would have been as bad as you saw on Saturday. Reggie Herring scared the daylights out of us, but then he'd sit down and have dinner with you, and he'd mess with you, and he'd meet your mom and your dad, and he loved you as a human. Kind of what Grant said earlier is Petrino or the next head coach can be able to build a culture that they're scared. They have the respect of their head coach. You got a players coach like Pittman, and your players, now you're unconditioned in Memphis. Why do you think that is? Man, I don't want to run that hard today, coach. And he lets you. That's not good. Your head coach is like, if y'all remember Coach Nutt's offseason workouts, DJ, Grant, did you get to go through one, Grant? That was 10 times harder than Coach Petrino's. And people don't want to hear that or say that. Old Dean Weber used to have to blow the whistle and cut him off. Houston was a player's coach like Pittman, but he was old school, and he didn't let up. When it was hot, hey, somebody turn up the heat. We had such accountability. But the Razorbacks, I think DJ or Grant, I can't remember who I was talking to, we haven't – a locker room hasn't witnessed championship football in a long time. We haven't been to Atlanta. We haven't been competitive. We haven't been top 10. When you have the leadership of like Marcus Harrison and Samuel Jabutu and Jerry Franklin and guys like that, man, that's contagious. we haven't had contagious winners in that locker room. We've had extreme talent. These guys are running 4.3. They've probably been to bar in the weight room. They're incredible athletes, but great coaches create a great culture, and they don't allow them to play at what they recruited them for. Josh, that is what happened. We have the same talent. To your point, a guy like Bobby Petrino could spark them up and they could go undefeated. It's a mindset shift that locker room's got to have. And do you want to be great or do you want to be good? Jimmy Johnson came and talked to us and scared the dog out of us. Talked some realness into us about the difference in good and great. And these are good. That's a good team right there. But they let go of the rope. That little two-man tug of war still gives me nightmares. But that was accountability. I mean, I loved that Bobby Petrino locker room in that regard, y'all. I know we all have our feelings, but we competed our tails off. We were held accountable. That's why he's a good coach. But there's a lot of guys out there that can hold you accountable.
Well, I just like the fact that you guys all basically confirm y'all are believers that we can win against Tennessee.
I mean, hey, look. We said I wouldn't be wasting my time breaking down all this film if I thought it was just a couple guys out there that couldn't get the job done. I mean, so yeah, and we put a lot of effort into this stuff, and because what we've seen, and I think we've shown this before, what gets us so frustrated. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, they're calling him out. No, like I said, I don't. You know how many plays I go through and I skip just because I'm like, that guy just ain't got it. There's no point of this coaching point because I don't think he's capable of getting this job done. But I do highlight these players that I believe in wholeheartedly are better than what they're putting on the tape. And so that looking at the film, and me and Grant talked about this, I was shocked when I watched the offensive tape from this game. Why is that? Because we only scored one touchdown from a lineman. And offensively, I don't know how this happened. The film actually didn't look that bad. They just couldn't get into the end zone. And so I think that's why we can sit here and people confuse this criticism with us just really looking at this from a player's perspective of saying, guys, this is what y'all can do to make things better. Just do your job. And so, yes, I do believe we do have guys that if they get on the same page can compete against Tennessee. I don't think it's out of the question. It's just going to be a matter of fact if these guys want it or not. And if Coach Petrino can demand that. I think they love Coach Pittman, like we said, but you know how Coach P is, and this is what I need. Xavier Sorey, Cam Ball, Larry Worth, who's one of the most physical players on the team, who's now looking like he doesn't like contact. I need now Coach Petrino to say, hey, I love you guys, but come over here and sit by me on the bench real quick if that's how you're going to play. Who's up next? And I think that's sometimes where Pittman got into this thing where he loved his guys. We saw that unfold with KJ Jefferson. His time was due way before the end of that season, but Coach Pittman loved him, and he allowed this kind of lazy mentality to fester within that football team because he has too much of a personal relationship with these guys sometimes. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You just got to find that line of making sure they don't take advantage of it. Don't take advantage of it. Man,
DJ,
me on fire.
Dabo Sweeney, he's a great example of that line. He's a player's coach. People love him like Pittman. But he probably coaches like Saban. He's a winner. He breeds culture. And I'm just going to keep throwing names until Hunter Yurchek's like, that's a good idea, Matt Harris. I should get Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. All right, fellas. That was a long one. All right. I love how we always have a conversation before we come on here. Guys, we got to be tight, like 5 minutes in and out. Boom. We got to get to the breakdown.
Josh goes off on an undefeated SEC season.
30 minutes in. Josh over there stirring the pot, getting us all fired up. And now I'm behind schedule. Good thing is, though.
I told you that a new head coach would do this. I said, if they flip the script right now and they put Bobby Petrino in there, it's going to ignite the fan base. We can win a national championship all of a sudden.
God, Josh about to blow out the speakers here at the Mainline Sports Bar. He's pumped up right now. Fellas, okay. Thank y'all so much. Real quick, and I mean this, 30 seconds. What y'all got coming up later this week? Grant, I'll start with you for Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, breaking down the offensive line. We also just get into some of what we just really kind of went through, some of the Coach Pittman stuff. So we'll launch that tomorrow, probably tomorrow evening. So when you get home from work, get you some good chili and a drink, sit down and let Grant cook. We'll break it down. To DJ's point, wasn't that bad, but we got a few things to work on.
Watching Grant Cook's O-line segment with a bowl of chili sounds so nice right now. Big shout out to, I love this username, Slap and Tickle. I'm not sure why your name is that, but hey, to each their own, whatever floats your boat. You guys do an awesome job. Love watching the breakdowns every week. Keep up the good work. We will, Mr. or Mrs. Slap and Tickle. Thank you so much. Matt, what you got coming up later this week?
Oh, man. The defensive film was not as friendly as the offensive film. This week, I'm just asking for prayers. Just pray for that defense. Pray for Chris Wilson, Chi Hendricks, the new safeties coordinator. And I just want to see football again for the remainder of the year, DJ. Honestly, Josh and I are going to break down the film. It was over at halftime for us defensively. I knew that they were completely surrendered. So we're just going to talk about a mindset shift and see if those guys that run 4-3, you guys want to run 4-3 because we're still trying to play for Sunday. There is an individual effort out there that you can't forget. So that's your tape. That's your interview, Razorbacks. If you want to go play on Sunday, time to go. No excuses. So here we go.
All right, Josh, I'm scared. I'm actually not scared, but a little interested to see what you come up this week because you have the scouting report and it's a bye week. So what are you going to cook up for us this week?
I think what I'm going to be doing here, DJ, is for Razorback Nation, now that we're reinvigorated and we believe that we can win, now that you guys have told Razorback Nation that there's a chance that Arkansas can go in and beat Tennessee. And I love the fact that y'all kind of came to that conclusion. I think I'm going to go down the line and we're going to play a what if, kind of scouting the rest of our games. What if the Razorbacks pull this off? What if they beat Tennessee? Okay, they go in and play number 6, Texas A&M. What if they beat them? Then they go handle business with Auburn coming back to home, Mississippi State coming back to home. Next thing you know, like Grant said, if that happens, all of a sudden we're playing LSU. They're ranked 13th in the nation. We're going to play a what-if game. What if Bobby Petrino's the answer? What if Arkansas does a little something for the rest of the year? Because the way that what-if game turns out, we make college football playoffs, fellas. So I'm glad you guys are on board with it.
Why you yelling at us right now, man? Huh?
I think you got my mic turned up.
No, that's you turned up right now. Just yelling at us right now.
He's on that undefeated SEC high right now.
I'm hyped up, dude. I took a pre-workout and remember we gotta go. I gotta go on the show. So.
All right, fellas. I appreciate y'all. We'll be in touch later tonight. Kind of go over the game plan for the bye week. And Matt, I don't know if you know this. I got it in the works. Arkansas is on a bye week. I may be in your stomping grounds.
Come see you
over there. No, I'm talking Ouachita Baptist next week. It's their homecoming.
I know.
Cliff Harris Stadium.
Get ready. It's an experience now.
Yeah,
biggest rivalry in college sports football. It's a fact.
Well, it's not that game. It's the homecoming. Okay. Yeah.
Man,
All right.
Doesn't it just feel good to be hopeful again, fellas?
Oh Lord. All right. Let's get to break. All right. So, fellas, y'all have a good one. Like I said, we're going to switch this up. We're going to go to take a quick break on the other side. We're going to get into the tape. In my opinion, the tape that got Coach Pittman fired. You'll be surprised. Some of it's not that bad, and some of it's just like, what is going on? Fellas, y'all have a good one. We'll be right back after this quick break.
I bet they run the ball right here. Well, you former Razorbacks think you're so smart, don't you? What? Well, if you are so smart, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Wager on the Oakland Sports app. It's the best in-game wagering available in the state. Maybe use that football brain of yours to bet on this next play. Plus your favorite games. It's that easy. Yes! See? You should have took the bet.
Bet on any game all season long with Oakland Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app.
Hey y'all, this is Cam here at Southwest Ford in Arkadelphia. We just built our brand new 3 facilities here, our GMC, Dodge, and Ford facilities. If you're coming down the highway on I-30, take exit 78. We'll be 1.5 miles down the road. You're gonna look on the right-hand side and you're gonna see our beautiful Chevrolet store. Right past that, you're gonna see our beautiful Dodge store. And at the end, you're gonna see our wonderful Ford store. Our 3 facilities here make it so easy for you to shop here. Whether it's online or in person, we have almost everything you want and need. And if we don't have it, we'll go out and get it for you. If you live somewhere far, north, east, south, or west, we will deliver to you. Free delivery across the whole state. Please come down and come see me at Southwest Auto Ford in Arkadelphia.
Hey, you're not in high school anymore, but that knee still remembers that state championship, and that shoulder, well, it's been off since that game-winning drive. At Ortho Arkansas, they see it all the time. Old injuries that never fully healed, finally sneaking up on us. But here's the good news. It's never too late to get back into the things you love. Whether it's running, lifting, coaching, or just keeping up with your kids, Their sports medicine team is there to help you move forward without pain holding you back. Fellowship-trained physicians, personalized recovery plans, care that's built around your goals. Because once an athlete, always an athlete. Ortho Arkansas, for plays that still matter.
To review everything, and man, did some things pop up that I was thinking we got some work to do. Let me go ahead and move it up out of here and get my face up out the way. All right, so once again, a very disappointing performance that Arkansas put out on the field. As we go ahead and dive into it, I'm going to start with a couple offensive plays, and I'm in the second quarter right now, and I'll say this: starting off, man, it really wasn't bad tape, and I could sit here and point out a lot of positive things, but I feel like a lot of people right now just want to figure out where are these areas that we just continue to hurt ourselves and things start to go wrong, and I'll pop it up. Somebody brought up a comment about Taylor kind of getting back to the way that he was. I started to see that as well. A lot of it in the second half against Memphis, and a little bit more in this game throughout the game of kind of like, why are you getting back to these bad habits again? And I really think he's honed in on one receiver, and it's starting to hurt him a lot. He loves Omega Blake. He's treating Omega Blake like he did Andrew Armstrong last year. All right, but we got to start spreading that ball around, and a lot of that's going to come from Coach Petrino as well, of making sure we just don't decide where we're going to go before the ball is snapped and never change your mind based off what you see. I'm all about pre-snap reads, but as soon as that ball is snapped, if you see something is not there that you thought was going to be there, you have to get to your second in progression, if not your third. We got to work on that. So let's go ahead and get this tape rolling. Let me get this popped up for you real quick. And I'm going to make me little so y'all can see that a little bit bigger. Boom! There we go. Let's pick up in the second quarter against good old Notre Dame. And let's go ahead and take a look at this play right here. A dangerous throw once again. Taylor throws into coverage right here. This is 1st and 10, and I think you have to be aware of your down and distance. And he tries to squeeze this in, and it's to Omega Blake in triple coverage. All right, 1st and 10. It's 10 to 28. You need to get some momentum going on the offensive side of the ball, and we're starting to force it. I'm starting to see when things get a little tight and tense, most like anyone else, they like to go to the things that they're most confident in. But right here in triple coverage, you have to be a little bit more aware. If you go back just a little bit, I'll actually blow them out right now. This is a running back that came out of the backfield. No one's around him. That's a quick, easy. He should realize triple coverage. What am I doing? I see my check down. Let me dump it off to him, throw it to him. He's probably at that tail of that hog by now. So kind of getting back to what makes him more comfortable are guys that he's thrown to a lot. It's popping up quite a bit. Oh, yeah. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next play. Almost a pick right there. You can see right now, this was interesting to me. So the way that this play is set up, it's set up to look like a screen to the right. That is an option for Taylor. It's almost like you want to drop back, sell it right here, and then go back this way. However, if you're in that process and you go back and you go to sell it and it's open, throw the ball. It just if the defense gives it to you, this is where sometimes I think Coach Petrino coaches him up, and he says, this is what the defense is going to do. So hold it. It's going to make the defense shift, and then we're going to come back and throw this tunnel screen on the backside. And I think he says, okay, that's what he said. I'm going to stick to it. A very coachable player, but sometimes as a quarterback, you got to say, Coach, I know you told me this, but you're not me out there, and you're not seeing what I'm seeing. I see that this is open. I'm going to go ahead and get it out. You can see he tries to throw it back here. He's taking a look at him, and it does not look like a bad option right now. I will say Notre Dame defensively, very disciplined team. You have to give credit where credit is due. The defensive lineman, he snuffed it out, kind of got in the throwing lane. But if you were to look at option A and option B right now, I'm going with option A right now with the running back. This linebacker, this defensive end did a really good job not falling for the screen and put Taylor in a tough spot. But, I mean, the more you kind of look at this play develop, I mean, just imagine if he gets that ball out quick, and then you got these two offensive linemen leading the way. It's 28-10. So what are we doing here? 1st and 10, you end up taking a sack. 10-plus yard loss. And now all that momentum we had to try to go score for score against Notre Dame, This happened often. We would get to that red zone and just find a way to hurt ourselves. And then you get a 3rd and 20 right here. Credit again to Notre Dame. They knew exactly what Arkansas wanted to do. And this popped up a lot, all right? This is where sometimes I get a little hesitant because I still get PTSD from being coached by Coach Petrino just because he was so like, all right? I never wanted to make him mad, all right? I really am glad I played for him, but he is no nonsense, all right? But I feel like Coach Petrino is starting to become a little bit too predictable, all right? And I don't know if it's because he feels like these are the plays that I just have to call with these guys, but these guys now knew exactly. I mean, Memphis did it last week. We're going to shut down this read option thing, and they did. Notre Dame did a great job of playing both. Taylor, with this look, he should hand it off. But I'll say this, they were really good about how they like to play this read option. Then they shut it down, and we just kept going to it. End up on a 2nd and 20, not getting anything. All right, this is the drive out of halftime, okay? So if y'all remember when we came out of halftime, I was curious to see what the response was going to be. Was it going to be one of those the team completely gave up? But the defense came out swinging. I was just like, okay, they must have had that conversation of like, let's light a fire under our butt and get going, okay? And they were able to get a turnover, and then the offense got the ball back. So this is the first drive out of halftime. I'm very curious to see the adjustments that'll be made. And the ball was, and they were rolling, from run game. You get great push up front. And then Taylor doing a great job with the play calls with Coach Petrino, getting guys in space. And so at this point, I was just like, that was very promising to me at that point to see that Arkansas got hit in their mouth and they wanted to come back and respond. All right. I was just curious about how long that response was going to take. What happens when they saw adversity again? Then things started to fall apart. So once again, this is the drive out of halftime. You can see great play calls, doing a great job moving the ball down the field, trying to put something on the field to let them know, hey, it's going to be a long day here at Arkansas. Another one right here, great read by Taylor, pulling that ball and getting it out to his receiver. And then this was the story all day. We would get to the red zone and then just have small things that would keep us out of the end zone. This is the attention to detail that we talked about. And this is where I kind of go back and forth because I would say, some people say, well, now that Coach Petrino is the head coach, the attention to detail and these little things will no longer be an issue. I guarantee you when it comes to that offense, it was all Coach Petrino. And I feel like things like this popped up way too much. You got a double team between these two offensive linemen up to this defensive tackle and just miscommunication, who stays on them and who comes off. Your running back takes a shot on a 2nd and 1 right here. I think we have the end zone angle. That should be, once again, a very easy call. And there was just miscommunication between the right tackle and the right guard. You see it right here. Number 50, they're trying to work up to this linebacker. Let me see if I can highlight him right here, okay? That's a really big circle. Number 34, okay? If he goes from the way I'm looking to our right, his left, and then the tackle will come off on him, and number 50 will stay on that defensive tackle that's right in front of his face. Miscommunication lets him come through. And yes, it's a 2nd and 1. Now, the thing about it is we overcame that. They did a great job getting Braylon Russell the ball. Mr. Russell, I know you love that. All right. You got to get him the ball. No doubt about it. Picks up a good 3rd and 1 as a fullback out of the backfield. Now we're still in red zone. Can we not hurt ourselves and keep ourselves out of the end zone? This is coaching 101 right here. And this is for my tight ends. Okay. You got to win in these situations. If you're in the red zone and the defense is showing you man-to-man coverage and he gives you that much space, you should win this every single time. If I saw this breaking the huddle, my eyes would light up. I would almost give away the play of letting him know, hey, it's coming to me, but you're not going to stop me on this route. This is just a small coaching point that's popped up a few times when watching tape on our tight ends getting out of breaks, specifically Platt. So, Platt, if you're watching this, maybe it'll get around to you. There's one thing you can do to make sure that you catch these balls. You got to be quarterback friendly. He's going to run a nice little 10-yard out route on 1st and 10, and it almost ended as a pick. So when you come out of these routes, you have to come back down towards the ball. If you come out of this route and you start drifting, it makes the angle really easy for a defender to undercut you and get an interception. That's usually how these pick six happens all the time. All right, so coming out of this route, he needs to come back downhill and attack the football. But look, as I press play, he drifts up 3 to 4 yards, and he allows this defender to undercut this ball. Dangerous ball by Taylor. I don't know. I think in the SEC, you're going to have these very small windows to work with, and a small adjustment like that at the tight end position will definitely get this ball caught on a 1st and 10. Now, the thing is, that's just one play, but I can go back and watch a few clips of him running an out route. It happens often. So coaching point on that, tight ends, if you're listening, come back downhill, stop floating up the line of scrimmage, and give your chance to really be competitive and catch this ball. I really do like the direction he's going. Just a small little thing I saw on tape. I think that we can get fixed. But we're going to move along. 2nd and 10 right now. We hand off, still getting good push up front. Now, I'm not going to play this one all the way through. Man, once again, Jaylen Brown, thoughts and prayers to him. How awful was that injury? I mean, you hate to see that in the game. It didn't even look like somebody landed on him. It was just an awkward thing in sports that had happened when he broke his leg. It looked like he snapped his shin, probably broke both of the bones. And so thoughts and prayers to him. You have to hate that for competitors out here. But on this play, 3rd and 9, perfect play call. They got crossing routes. He does a great job working through traffic. Taylor has to get this ball out way earlier. Not only way earlier, the way that this works in man-to-man coverage, there's no one in the end zone. All you have to do is lead your receiver to the back pylon. They coach these throws. What's your aiming point? Back pylon, receiver catch it, toe tap, and it's a touchdown. That's how small the windows are in the SEC. You're going to see that, sorry, I'm going to show this. You want that ball to push way back. Underthrown a little bit. He kind of has to stop and come back, and he doesn't end up catching this ball. I'm just going to I kind of want to move on to the next play. Sorry, I just got to show it, move on. Thoughts and prayers out to him. Very tough thing. But I think that ball could have been a little bit further back by that pylon. And, yes, this is where people always say, DJ, you're being real nitpicky. If we want to win and go to the next level, you have to make those throws, okay? Another one right here, this is where I feel like Coach Petrino is starting to be a little bit too predictable. You got to know on 4th and 9, most likely they're going to bring pressure and that they're going to bring man-to-man coverage. You can just tell simply by the look on your screen based off the coverage, pressure is coming and I have man-to-man coverage. Coach Petrino, everybody knows he loves shallow routes on man-to-man coverage. I look at who is this, C.J. Brown down here that I have highlighted. On this one right here, I think you have the whole left side of the field to work with. I would particularly like a slant route or an option route and let him just beat his man based off the leverage that he has. But I think you see how fast this DB from Notre Dame reacts to the shallow route. It's just they're all over it, and they're anticipating it just because we've done it so much. It's time to switch it up a little bit. And then once again, moving along, these are a couple times that this is where Taylor gets me. He has some things I'm like, Taylor, what are you doing? And then he shows some really good plays, a great job maneuvering up into the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield. And sometimes when it's 49-13, okay? This is where I'm curious about the mindset of the team. Sometimes you're going to have to put yourself in a position to take a shot, and it's going to hurt. But if the game is on the line, I think we make this play. He throws to Omega Blake, his favorite target. The ball is a little high. He reached up, and it tipped off his hands. But if you freeze this, he never left the ground. He didn't even jump for this. Now, we've seen a lot of receivers jump and make some really tough catches. Now, what comes with that? You better strap up because you're going to take a really, really big hit. 49-13. It's almost the end of the third quarter. Everybody felt the vibe in that locker room. I think he saw that person coming, and he was just like, I don't know about this one. Omega, I don't care if we're down 100. Go up and put your body on the line and go catch this ball. I wouldn't be giving you a hard time if I didn't think you could catch it. We've seen that. You got some really great hands, but go up and get this and just take the shot and then tell Taylor to buy you a steak dinner later for throwing you into that big hit. But don't shy away from contact. Another one right here, Taylor getting back to the uncharacteristic things. Look at that pocket right now. It looks pretty good. O-line, you're going to see this when Grant talks about it. They actually didn't play that bad. Even though they gave up 3 sacks, you'd be shocked when you go back and watch. Taylor had no reason at all to leave this pocket. Look at it. It's beautiful. And as you look at things develop, you got options, okay? You got these 2 guys up front or at the top that are going to run these in routes. But most importantly, if you look over here to the right, you're going to have a guy and who has him man-to-man? It's this guy back here. So much space. He's going to run a slant route and be wide open. Taylor, I don't know what made him get out of the pocket right here. He just left with the guy wide open. I mean, it's an easy. Look at this throw and catch right here for an easy first down, but he decides to escape. Now, what comes with that, you're going to get yourself in some bad situations. Corey Robinson ends up getting a holding call because he thought everything was good back there. Taylor gets out of the pocket. He scrambles. I think he ends up getting the first down. But situations like that just put your offensive linemen in bad spots to get holding calls. It happens all the time. Another one right here, Carmona. We're in a spot where we're trying to get some momentum going. And this is where I say, like, I'm giving a nod to Notre Dame right here. They're very savvy. And I think we're missing a lot of savviness on our defensive side of the ball. Carmona's in protection. He's trying to get this guy blitzing. He usually does a great job coming off and blocking this guy. But if you take a real quick look, now this is illegal, but this defensive tackle holds him and doesn't let him come off that block, you know? And so I just wanted to point out some very sneaky ways that a defensive coordinator can implement things into their scheme that try to get away with. You got to tote that line. But I thought that was a pretty savvy play. Now, I'm going to let Grant talk about how to avoid this. Because I'm going to ask Grant, how do you get out of this situation when a guy's noticeably holding you and a blitzer's coming through? Now, the thing about it is, Carmona, I've been on the fence with this because he knows that's his responsibility. He knows he's getting held, and he doesn't want his quarterback to take a hit. So he reaches out and almost tries to tackle that guy moving forward and gets a holding call. I'm almost not mad at it. You know what I mean? Given the circumstance of the game and you don't want Taylor to take a free hit, that was pretty special knowing that I'm going to take one for the team. Now, I don't advocate for holding at all. That was just a bad situation. End up getting a holding call. Now it's, third and forever or second and 25. And the thing about it is, same thing. I'm not sure what Taylor's doing right here. I don't get it. Sometimes lost some words. Going to watch things. Move along. Get to a third and long, almost third and 30, and then we pick up some good yardage right here. Now let's get to a 4th and 7. This is where I feel like he's relying on Omega Blake a little too much. This is going to be the second time now we've seen him throw into a situation because he's so locked in on Omega Blake. He's going to be down at the middle of your screen, but I want you to look at the receiver inside. Man-to-man coverage. Watch this route he runs. Great route. Has him beat. If this ball is out now, he catches this, turns up field for a first down, but he's really focused on Omega, who's just getting locked up right now. I think, once again, Petrino, this is the same play that Taylor threw an interception on against A-State. The return route inside, Omega Blake coming behind him. And I think when you see it so much, defensive coordinator starts saying, hey, on a must-go-get-it situation, if they're in this formation, just be aware for this. Now you have these players anticipating it. I mean, look at this guy. He's trailing Omega Blake on the inside, just waiting for him to come in as if he knows the play. We got to get a little bit more creative on that side of the ball. And this is where I was just like, Taylor, what are we doing? I'll talk about that here in a second. Corey Robinson hit this guy. This is where the rules of college football are starting to get into people's head. Go hit this guy. You don't have to decleat him and worry about getting thrown out the game, but you just can't let him run right past you. Look at Carmona. He said, okay, I see you chasing my guy. Give him a little love tap. I'm not understanding why we're running out of bounds right here on a 4th and 7. 20 yards shy of the 4th down. That was discouraging. I'm assuming he's aware of the down and distance. Maybe not. If not, that's a problem. But, yeah, at this point, I think a lot of Razorback fans are just like, what are we doing? The frustration starts to overwhelm everybody. That was the offensive side of the ball. All right, I usually take a break right here, but we're going to go ahead and keep this rolling. I'm going to take a look at the defense. And another thing that hurt the defense, offense comes out, they put up 3 points, okay? Notre Dame, first play of the game. Everybody's like, oh, no, but they get a pick play. You just saw that. So they got a penalty on the very first play of the game. A defense that has been getting all the hate in the world from a fan base, okay? You could not ask for a better start than having Notre Dame at a 1st and 22 on their very first drive of the game. This was the one where they had the opportunity to set the tone. Listening to all that noise all week, we couldn't stop Ole Miss. We couldn't do anything with Memphis. We had an opportunity to come out here and really show what we're all about. 1st and 22. You couldn't ask for a better start. Notre Dame hands the ball off. Okay, good play right there. They get a couple yards. Still 2nd and 18. You got to feel good about your chances. I think what we've talked about, what is this, the third play of the game? Cam Ball, man, we got to turn it up a notch. I feel like I've been on you a lot just because this team needs you to turn it up a notch if we want to be successful. You couldn't add. I'll give you this. A couple of these other games, you've been getting double team. Notre Dame said, let's go ahead and double team the other guy. I feel good about number 5. And they left you man on man. All right. You couldn't ask for anything more. 1-on-1 with an offensive guard. You got to make something happen. I mean, I'm just not getting it. A noticeable passing down on 2nd and 18, and we don't get anything. Just get locked up by one guy. Don't put that on tape, man. You're better than that. We got to figure that out moving forward. And then once again, defensive guys out of place. I'm not even sure who this is, but he's spectating. He has a front row seat just in no man's land. And then I don't know why we got 2 deep safeties covering nobody. The deepest man is over here locked up on the sideline. I'm trying to figure out who my guys over here are guarding. Why are they so far from the ball right now? And why are they? And they noticeably, it looks like they're playing the same position. Just so much miscommunication on that defensive side of the ball. No wonder they had to make those changes, because this has been a theme all year long. Got to tighten up, y'all. Got to tighten up. All right, let's go ahead and keep it rolling. 2nd and 7 right here. All the time in the world to throw the ball. Y'all, we got an issue at linebacker. Big issue. Think this is Shaw, number 7. Could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Man-to-man coverage. DJ, how do you know it's man-to-man coverage? Just look at it across the board. The biggest indicator, single high safety, and all the DBs that are pressed right now. If I were a quarterback, I would find wherever our linebackers are and just throw in that direction. Kenai Walker's starting to get on that list too, okay? I don't know what you do right here as a coach besides try to call somebody and see if we can get somebody else in. Because when we have this on a college level, just falling down, I mean, it's so easy for these guys to get open, and that's where I get concerned about the talent issue. And now let's get to the coaching issue. This is a 3rd and 7. Most would say an obvious passing down, but you can't go all in with the passing down. You still have to account for the run. You see, you got the linebackers walked up in the A gap, okay? And they're going to try to bail out last minute, but this is end up going to be a running play to the left, and there is no outside contain built into this play. 0. It makes no sense to me. That's almost like a fundamental approach to defensive football. You have to have outside contain at all times. In this play, unless somebody is wrong, it looks like it is set up without outside contain, maybe because you're anticipating a throw on 3rd and 7, and then you expect this linebacker to get all the way out there in time to shut this off. There's just no way. I have an end zone angle right here. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was taught this in middle school. Unless someone's wrong, and if they are wrong, they've been wrong a lot. You see Quincy Rhodes lined up inside, the tight end and the tackle out, or the tight end is outside of him. There needs to be somebody on that outside. If not, then I would run the ball all day. Look at that. Open lane, nobody there. That, in my opinion, that's just bad coaching. I would love to say maybe Quincy Rhodes is supposed to be outside of that tight end. I don't know. That's where we're not in the meeting room, and we really don't know this, but somebody has to be out there. But just based off what I'm seeing, it looks like it's just a bad play call or people lining up bad. Once again, I talked about number 7. He is going to be a target on the field in man-to-man coverage. They're not worried about him at all. We have to figure out how to put our guys in positions to be successful. If you know he's not going to be good in space, then don't put him in space. That's just part of bad coaching. Once again, just an easy throw and catch. They're going to pick on him every single time if he's in man-to-man coverage. And then let's go ahead and get into other situations as we move along. The film, you still got guys running all over the place. You got 2 guys guarding the guy up front. You got 2 guys guarding the guy in back, and no one accounting for my guy right over here in the middle. Easy throw and catch just because, once again, miscommunication. So, like, the thing about Coach Williams, I had a chance to talk with Coach Williams quite a bit, and I really like Coach Williams, you know. But when you put stuff like this on tape, this is where you really start justifying and understanding why these moves are made. So I would say him moving forward, Deke Adams moving forward, our other Woodson, I think our other defensive coach that got let go. As much as we get on to players about reflecting and doing better, I think coaches can do the exact same thing of understanding and going back and watching the tape. And these small things, rather if it's your play design, take advice from someone else. But if these players are just out of place, you have to figure out a way to reach these players differently so they understand what they're doing on the field. That is a very tedious task for a coach sometimes, depending on the characters that you have to deal with. But that's what you get paid the big bucks for, okay? So If we clearly weren't getting it done, hopefully we can find someone else that will. And also, too, players, it's on you too. It's not just on the coaches. Caleb Wooden, we've talked about you a few times now. You have to be more physical. All right, get your nose in here and stop being so easy to block. All right, go attack the contact. Stop waiting on it all the time. Right here, he's called, he's setting the edge. He's the force defender. He doesn't need to let this get outside. As soon as he sees this guy coming to block him, put your shoulder through his sternum and leave your outside wide open, but you just sit there and you catch everything. It's so easy to block. Blow through this guy, but keep your outside open and don't allow this running back to bounce outside. I mean, Coach Petrino said it all the time. You want to be the hammer or the nail. Too often, our guys on defense are the nail each and every time. Kinne Walker, open field tackle. What are we doing? What are we doing? You don't need a coach to tell you how to make this tackle. Awful, what's the technique we're looking at? Head over shoulders, eyes are down. Didn't want any piece of it. Just made it an easy day for Notre Dame on defense. And then another one right here. So this is where it gets interesting. Kinne Walker, once again, God, I've been on this guy a lot. And I think our DB struggle with this. A lot of people want to talk about talent evaluation. All right, we paid these guys to come here, so I feel like now we need to start demanding a little bit more, okay? I don't know what it is you need to do in training or in the offseason or in practice. DBs that play on Sundays, I'm assuming that's your goal, all right? Look, you're already looking at the ball. DBs who make plays in the SEC, they're able to turn their hips and drive back on this ball. I would love an interception, but at least be in a position to bat this ball down. And the only reason I'm saying that because I have seen it. And I'm telling you right now, DBs watching this, if you think this is nitpicky, then you don't want to play on Sundays, okay? So you notice it enough, drive back down. I've seen so many DBs able to get back and at least bat that ball down. And then another thing that pops up is want to, toughness, and if these guys have an edge. Y'all see the guy I got highlighted right now? He was the guy that got kicked off the team at Arkansas last year. This is Ty Washington. He transferred to Notre Dame, and he plays tight end at Notre Dame. And when you approach a game with a certain edge, and the thing is, I saw him plenty times on tape do very well at Arkansas. A couple times will take some plays off, but he had the ability to do so. But I think when you go into a game with the mindset of being physical and just dominating someone, then you get the job done. Tell me if you didn't think he took this block personal right here. He comes in the backfield and just lines this guy's up and then finishes him to the ground, okay? You talk about mindset, all right? You have to figure out, guys, on Arkansas to have that approach with everyone you see, every single one. You take it personal. You don't even know this guy, and he needs to look at you like, what is wrong with this dude? He was talking bad about my mama. He started saying all this bad stuff about me. I honestly feel like this guy hates me. We got too many nice guys out on the football field who don't like contact. Big hit by Ty Washington. Now, Shaw, what are you looking at? All right, he didn't even see this hit coming. I mean, this is where we get into this area of, like, talent evaluation. What are we looking at? I don't know how he didn't see this coming, man. I bet he will now. But Ty Washington bringing it and then finishing him at the very end. We're missing that edge on our football team, and we need to figure out a way to get it out of our guys. Moving along once again. Matt's going to talk a little bit more about this on Thursday. I've been looking at this film forever, trying to figure out who was at fault here when you got guys running wide open. I think we know what's going on here. This is Caleb Wooden as your safety. You're going to see real quick, he starts getting over to this side of the field, and he leaves the middle of the field wide open, okay? A lot of people are saying, why? Why? Just if you were looking at everything else, I don't know if it's because he was looking at the quarterback's eyes and he was drawing him over there. I really don't. I talked to Matt about this play, and this is where it gets interesting. Based off the leverage of that corner at the bottom, it looks like he is expecting safety help over the top. If that is true, then that means Caleb Wooden is doing the right thing, okay? I'm going to keep this play rolling. I think I got a little issue with the film right here, but it comes back. So this is, I think, what is supposed to happen. We talked about this. That's Kinne Walker. As soon as Wooden leaves, he needs to rotate over and cover this. So I'm thinking right now, Kinne, what are you looking at that's making you hold up right here? Why are you so late getting over here to this ball? The flat over here is covered by this linebacker out here who's doing a bad job getting out there, as I might point out. Sorry for that. But my thing is, and I'll give them this, for Kinne Walker to be responsible for that, that is an extremely, extremely difficult thing to do. And I don't know why the coordinator would put you in that position to try to make that play in the first place. That, in my opinion, is just a bad concept and a bad play call. You're making it extremely hard on your guy to cover this. Also, too, linebackers, what are we looking at? I'm tired of our guys on film looking like they just have a front row seat to everything. Get some depth. Make these windows much harder to throw. It's top to bottom. Gonna get me fired up talking about one play. But it sucks when you have a wide open touchdown on your own backyard. Another one that we talked about too, Xavier and Sori, it's time to figure it out, man. You know, do you want to play, be physical or not? Sounds rough, but it is what it is. It's just what we sign up for. We've seen this too many times on tape of one-on-one in the hole with the running back. And now what you've put on tape is coaches are going to say, hey, when number 10 comes up to tackle you, all you got to do is keep your feet moving. He's going to let you go, and we're going to break that tackle. Don't be that guy on tape. And this is hard for me because you're such a good football player. You're so good. We saw it all last year. Turn it up a notch. Don't leave people with trying to figure out what's going on with Xavier and Sori. Put it out on the field. Let it piss you off a little bit. What are we doing? I mean, that's not who you are, man. Drive through that. Don't wait on the contact. Wrap up. Wait for your crew to get there. Be physical. Don't put that on tape. All right. This is awful. This right here, what are we doing? First, I will say this, great play design, and I'm not even going to point that out. Good call by them, all right? However, we got to talk about the effort from this. I'm not even going to look at the guys down the field. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my guy. I've been talking about him a lot, Cam Ball and Quincy Rhodes. Now, Quincy Rhodes, when he noticed, we're in trouble, he did turn it up a notch, okay? But Cam Ball, I'll go ahead and highlight him right. Ooh, what did I just do? Sorry. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, my clicker's not working. All right, I'll just keep moving forward. You tell me if you think this is effort. If you look at the circle behind, okay, that's Cam Ball. He's the one closer to the bottom of the screen. And tell me if that looks like effort to you. Jogging. I've seen defensive linemen on screens sprint their butt off to try to be there if the play cuts back. That's who you worry about. You want an example? You remember last year when we played Texas and we ran that tunnel screen? Who was that defensive lineman who ran all the way out there and blew up our receiver and caused him to fumble, okay? You see it all the time. I used to run screens all the time, and I would hope that my offensive lineman would cut back or come back and block the big guys running after me, okay? So you know that's a thing, and I hate to see that on tape. And I know a lot of people have told me that Cam Ball's getting 90 snaps a game. If that's the case, man, don't put stuff like that on tape. Like I said, if you have to condition more, do it. If you have to eat right, do it. I would personally love the coaching staff to figure out how to get you a backup so you're not playing every single snap. Yes, Cam, I would love that for you. But right now, that's not on the table. So we can't sit here and ask for things that aren't coming. All we can figure out is how to make sure that you stay fresh and compete at a high level. Because when you do, you're one of the better football players on the team. But when you get tired, man, it gets tough. And I know you're fighting, and I know I'm coming at you. It is what it is. We got to do it. We got to work with the hand that we're dealt. All right. Another one right here. Once again, when it comes to outside contained, players not doing what they're supposed to do. The play I showed you earlier, I felt like was a coaching mishap. But this one right here, big dog Ian, what are we doing? You got this outside contained, and you literally go right into this offensive lineman. You need to be on the outside of him, and you just make it way too easy. Maybe got away with a little hold right there, but I don't even know if it would have made a difference. Once again, these small little things that are popping up consistently all over tape. Another talent thing that I'm going to pop out. Anytime a quarterback throws that far across the field, I thought pick six. I thought we're going to get something special. Look at Neil right here. Great job seeing the break, right? Great job. Look at his eyes. Watch his eyes. Snap. Boom. All right, locating the ball. It is in the air, on the way. Just like I showed that clip of Kinne Walker earlier, if you want to play on Sundays and if you want to compete high level each and every day in the SEC, you make these plays. What I love a pick six, 100%. bare minimum on this, you have to get your hand on the ball. Don't have us sit down here and think, oh, these guys just can't get it done. Let the tape speak for itself, and you got to make this play. You got to have a little bit better angle at the pursuit of this ball, track it in the air, get a hand on it, but we can't do that and then give it up for yet another first down. We're getting to the end zone right here. Once again, if I'm an offensive coordinator, the first thing I'm saying is, hey, if it's man-to-man, everybody is an option, all right? We have to figure out how to cover guys in space better because right now it's a walk in the park, all right? They're licking their chops saying, please throw to me because no one on Arkansas can cover man-to-man. Got to be more physical with your hands if you're going to be up there. I didn't even get a chance to touch them. Easy throw and catch. And we're going to see us keep getting attacked week in and week out if this keeps popping up. And this right here, sorry, once again, what are we doing with our angle? It's almost like you don't want the hit. I hope that's not the case. Show me something better on tape. As we move forward, tell me right now, look at all these red circles around the ball. If somebody said, I'll give you, what are the odds this guy scores a touchdown? I would say there's no way this guy scores a touchdown. Number 0 that you see a little bit towards the bottom of your screen, he's jogging. So he's not there for the cutback. Number 7, Shaw, who I've pointed out, I'm starting to be really concerned about his ability to move in space. He can't break down to get this tackle, and everyone else thinks everyone else is going to make the tackle. And then you let this guy from this point on go untouched to score a touchdown. I think that's when the wheels were falling off, y'all. And then it just keeps getting worse. Larry Worth, he's apparently one of the most physical guys on our team. Go obliterate this guy. I've seen you do it on tape all year last year, becoming way too easy to block. Xavier and Sori, once again, way too easy to block. I mean, they're having a field day playing against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Go shoot this gap like you've done all year, but you sit down and break down and just, I don't get it, y'all. And so when you talk about a coaching change and the coach losing their job and people feeling bad, the sad part about all this tape is that it popped up way too much throughout the year. Lack of physicality, lack of effort, guys tired all the time. Do I believe those excuses are really going to start going out the window now that Coach Petrino's in there? They have to. If not, then Coach Petrino's not the guy, all right? But I don't think Coach Petrino is built that way. I'd be very shocked if we continue to see more tape like this, okay? So let's go ahead and get to our quick break. On the other side, I got a list right now from CBS, the top coaching candidates to be the next head coach at Arkansas. I think Josh is still here, moving around in the background. He's going to hop on with us. I see him smiling in the background. We're going to go over who the potential head coach of Arkansas might be coming up. We'll be right back after this break.
Okay. I got my bet in on the next drive. Y'all? Yep. Whoever loses picks up the tab.
You know, this Oakland Sports betting app is so fun to use, it might actually make watching these games with y'all bearable.
Big talk coming from a fella about to lose this wager.
Just need a field goal here and you'll be cooked, my friend. Remember our friendly wager.
And it's good.
Bet on any game all season long with Oakland Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app.
This is humiliating.
At Ortho Arkansas, we know that Friday night sports injuries can't always wait until Monday morning. That's why our fellowship-trained sports medicine team opens our Saturday morning sports injury clinic every weekend during football season. With on-site x-rays, on-site MRIs, same-day evaluations, we can get the diagnosis for our athletes immediately so you know you get the right care at the right time. Our goal for our athletes is a safe recovery and a strong return to play. Saturday Sports Clinic, only at Ortho Arkansas.
All right, here we go. About to put a bow on this thing. That was not Grant playing cornhole for $100, by the way, if you read that. We're going to do that next home game. We're going to give that a shot. Also, tell me, let you know we're at the Mainline Sports Bar, the place to be. What do they got going on there, DJ? Take a look. It's a good time here. Everybody having a good time, having a couple drinks, eating some good food, watching some good sports, playing some games. I'll tell you, it's a really cool spot. I encourage y'all to come by. It is family friendly. Even though it looks like that's not a family-friendly event going on right now. But, yes, you don't have to go through the casino to get through here. All you have to do is walk through the entrance of the racetrack, and we'll be good to go, okay? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and bring Josh back up here. We're going to also give some some viewer comments here in just a second, but let me pull in. Yeah, Josh, where you at? You in there? Boom, there he is. What's up, man? You back at it?
What's going on?
I got you. All right, so we're going to do some viewer comments here in a little bit, but we're also going to talk about the coaches right now, who our next potential coach is going to be, and let's go ahead and talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and flash the coach up, and we'll go ahead and talk about him. So up first, we got, let me bring this up, potential head coach right now, good old Bobby Petrino, okay? He is definitely on the board. 114 total games. You see the bowl records. You see all this good stuff. Record as Arkansas as a head coach, 34-17. Come on now, bowl game record 2-1. Oh Lord, I remember that one. Dadgummit, scoop and score. Good old Sugar Bowl. Also tied for the most wins in a single season, 11-2. They won the Cotton Bowl that year. So Josh, I'll go ahead and bring you back over here. Real quick, obviously that's the first one we're going to start with. I know you already gave your 2 cents with Bobby Petrino, but Hunter Yurachek revealed that the 64-year-old, he is 64 years old, who is serving as an interim in the wake of Pittman's firing, will be considered as the next head coach. He said that he actually had Coach Petrino come over to his house. This was last night or the night before, 2 nights ago, and can you not hear us? Can they not hear us? Mike. Can you hear me now? Mic check. Yeah. Thank you. And so Coach Petrino ended up going to Hunter Yurachek's house, and they had the conversation about, hey, do you want this? He said, hell yeah, I want this. Let's do this thing. All right. So real quick thoughts on Coach Petrino being the head coach, even though you already gave your 2 cents. And apparently Petrino magic is what we need, right?
Yeah, I think that's what you're going to have to solidify the job to him. But I think ultimately, DJ, it comes down to, and I've been beating it like a dead horse week after, actually year after year. There's a year and a half ago we were talking about this. The money for NIL. Whatever coach, all these coaches could have a good resume, but whatever coach is going to secure the right amount of funds, the right amount of backing from boosters and other people that will be involved in donating to our program so that they have enough money to work with in this uncontrolled NIL wild west space. So I don't really care which one. I mean, obviously I have opinions on that, but at the end of the day, what will give Arkansas the best chance is finding the coach that we have enough financial backing on.
All right, up next, we got Dave. Up next will be potential head coach. Number 2 on the list is going to be Texas State's head coach, G.J. Klein. All right, let's talk about this. Best coach at Texas State in history, led Texas State to consistent 8-5 seasons. Before that, they didn't know how to win. Led Texas State to its first and only 2 bowl game wins in program history. He has been popped up quite a bit. Josh, I'll bring you back. I don't know if you've done research on this guy. I'll give you some notes on him real quick. Once again, they hadn't had a winning season in 10 years before that he was hired. Their record includes power conference wins against Baylor, close games against Arizona State. Prior to his hiring at Texas State, established himself as an offensive mastermind at FCS Incarnate World. Listen to this. You ready for this, Josh? 36 years old. 36. What do you feel about that?
DJ, you don't remember playing against this guy?
Did I play against this dude?
Yeah, he was at the University of Tulsa with Gus Malzahn.
Oh, I remember beating this guy. What did he play? Offense?
Yeah, he played quarterback. He was starting quarterback for the Golden Hurricanes, baby, in 2009.
Wow. How about that?
Yes,
all right,
sir.
Nice. All right, what you got?
Well, I think that he's one of those kind of Gus Malzahn type understudies, likes to throw the ball a lot. He's had some good success. I mean, I believe he was even over at the University of Hawaii as offensive coordinator under Todd Graham. Remember when Todd Graham and Gus Malzahn were co-head coaches at Tulsa? He maintained a lot of those relationships. He likes to throw the ball. He likes to spin it. He was a quarterback, DJ. So he's a young incoming guy that's got a lot of hype behind him. There's been people in the comments that have been talking about him. You know, again, I don't know if he's a guy that's going to be a household name that's going to be able to bring you a lot of high flying attention for the recruiting process. But if we can get the right amount of money behind him, you know, I like him offensively. He's a good offensive coordinator as well, and I think he's going to get creative. But DJ, again, I think you need money, you need splash in this world, and didn't even remember who
yeah,
he
we're
was.
just going to say it's going to be a reoccurring theme that each of these coaches will need money. All right. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We just talked about him. Good old Gus Malzahn, offensive coordinator at Florida State right now. We all are very familiar with this guy, what he did at Springdale up there in Northwest Arkansas. He coached the Heisman winner and good old Cam Newton. You see his record right here, made 2 SEC championships. I believe he was the OC at the national championship game as well. He also coached quarterbacks or receivers, that is, at the University of Arkansas. I really don't have to give much of an introduction, but do you see good old Gus Malzahn? The thing about it is I'm seeing a lot of comments. It sounds like they don't want Gus here at all. But your thoughts on him?
Well, I mean, when our starting quarterback left, KJ Jefferson, and went down to UCF and played for him, they didn't do very well. He was actually fired from UCF not too long ago. I can't remember, where is he at right now. Do you remember where he landed, DJ? Gus Malzahn.
Florida State. Yeah.
Florida State. Yeah. So look, I don't think that he is the Gus Malzahn of 2010s at Auburn anymore. But he does have the home connections that I think Arkansas likes. You like to have an Arkansas homegrown guy. But I just don't see him bringing the same type of energy that he did. I'm really looking for somebody, if we're going to get away from Bobby Petrino, I'm really looking for somebody a little bit younger, a little bit bigger of a splash.
Now, I want to also say, too, that this is a list from CBS of the top potential coaches that they believe will end up at the University of Arkansas. Let's keep it moving. You already talked about this guy once. Barry Odom, former defensive coordinator here at Arkansas, currently at Purdue. Moved from UNLV. We know his track record was in the SEC at Missouri. While at Arkansas, only allowed 22 points per game and 367 yards. He was a part of Sam Pittman's 9-win season. Barry Odom, you see him coming back, making a splash? What we doing?
I actually do like this hire. Number one, Matt Harris is going to love this, but I like a defense first coach in the SEC. That always gives me a little bit of confidence that, we have defense focus first. We can go get a really good up and coming offense and run up some numbers. But man, every single one of those Alabama teams that you saw that made it to the SEC championship, that went on to win a national championship, always great defenses. So I like that. Now, interesting connection. Yes, he left Pittman's staff to go become that head coach at UNLV. And then he hired Bobby Petrino to be the offensive coordinator, remember? And then Bobby left and went to Texas A&M. So they have this nice kind of relationship. It's kind of crazy, little love triangle. If he then comes back after Sam was the coach and Bobby was the interim, and then he takes back over, that will be interesting. But no, I wouldn't be mad at that.
I don't see them both being there. I think Coach Petrino was like, hey, it's going to be me, or I don't know, after all this coaching search, would he be okay being an offensive coordinator? Maybe. Who knows? Let's keep this thing rolling. Up next, all right, SMU, we want your guy. A lot of people do. Rhett Lashley, former quarterback at the University of Arkansas. We all know what he's done when it comes to SMU, what he's done over his last 30 games. 22-8, led SMU to the first conference title since 1984. Was a playoff team last year. Now, they ended up losing to Clemson in the ACC championship, but they still were there. He is putting them back on the map. I actually talked to Craig James today. Had a good conversation with him. He is a former running back at SMU. If you remember, he was a part of the Pony Express, one of those guys, right? Him and Eric Dickerson. And he says, man, they are giving him whatever he wants at SMU. And so he believes it'd be a very tough thing for him to leave there. But he also knows he's got a close tie to Arkansas. Thoughts on Rhett Lashley?
Yeah, I mean, Rhett Lashley on paper is a guy that I really like. 42 years old, still got that kind of Houston Nutt type of energy. 31-14 overall head coaching career. And as an Arkansas guy, I love the Arkansas ties to Springdale High School. And then obviously, his time here at the university as well. So, man, I would love this, but realistically, do I believe it's going to happen? I think that he's currently looking at, the state of Arkansas football and the competitiveness in the SEC. And man, you're at SMU and Dallas, easy to recruit to and plenty of money. So I don't know, but would I love that hire? I definitely
All right, let's
would.
keep it going. Man, we just saw this guy getting his name tossed around a lot, and this is no surprise here. Ryan Silverhand, the head coach at Memphis. All right, we saw how well he had his team going. Look at the record over the past 3 years. What was that, 25-3? 4 straight bowl victories. finishing the AP top 25 twice at Memphis. Third season in a row, beating a Power 4 opponent. You talk about a guy when it comes to finances, as we talked about, he doesn't have near the finances that Arkansas does, and he seems to have this program and playing some very competitive teams and doing their part of beating most of them. What do you think about this hire?
Well, Ryan Silverfield, not Silverhand. That sounds like a Marvel comic or something, like man. But no, I love him because he's got a lot of NFL experience. I mean, he dates all the way back to, I think, Jacksonville in 2005 as a quarterbacks coach, it looked like. Minnesota Vikings, the Detroit Lions, then came in, and he's an offensive line coach originally at Memphis. So, you know, in the trenches in the SEC, you got to have that shirt up. So I like that. And what he did at Memphis so far, 47-21 head coaching record. Can't complain about that. He showed us that he can go in and win games he's not supposed to win. So definitely put his name in the hat just by handling us last week.
Familiar name some people might have. Let's move on. UTSA coach right now, Jeff Traylor. Okay, who is this guy? Well, he used to be the running back coach at Arkansas. I believe it was under Chad Morris. I could be wrong. He's had a winning season back-to-back. He's won back-to-back bowl games past 2 years. Recruiting connections in Texas. You know, we need a guy that can recruit. I would say kind of. Nowadays, you just need a guy who can fundraise and get money. But if you remember him, once again, he was with Arkansas. I'm trying to, you know, the information on that when he was running back coach here?
2018, 2019.
There you go. What do you think about this guy?
Well, I love that he's from Texas, or at least his playing career was Stephen F. Austin,
was from
born
Texas.
and raised in Gilbert.
Chad Morris was from Texas.
Yeah, right. He was. But listen, just because you get one dub doesn't mean I'm going to hate on everybody. Okay, I like Texas football, man. And, you know, he's got SMU history, again, the Arkansas history, UTSA, but 48-22 in college. High school coaching record, 175 wins, 26 losses. So sounds like a winner to me. I need to do a little bit more digging on him, DJ. But, man, served as the associate head coach and running back coach here at our University of Arkansas under Chad Morris. So do I want to bring somebody in that was associated with Chad Morris? I don't know. All right,
this name's been popped up a lot, and it's going to be a potential head coach. The last one, John Sumrall. All right, let's go take a look at his track record right now. Getting a lot of attention to Sunbelt Championships. So they're at Troy. Led Tulane head coach right now to the American Championship game in his first season as head coach. He's led Tulane to 2 victories over Power 4 competition. But I've seen his name pop up a few times here in the chat. What do you think about this guy?
Man, I've had this little bird in my ear named Chad Yo's talking about John Sumrall to me on multiple occasions. He was telling me last year that that's who Arkansas needed to go get, and I didn't pay any attention to him. But look, 9-5 in 2024, 4-1 right now for the season, 1-0 in the conference, the American Athletic Conference. He was 7-1 in 2024. My guy Chad Yo says he's a winner and says he's going to be a future LSU coach if we're not careful. So I think you go get a guy like that too. I wouldn't be mad about that hire.
I like it. All right, those are your candidates, and don't forget Dan Mullen popped up as well. Okay, and heard he is interested in the job. That'll be interesting, but we'll keep you updated. Somebody, thanks for the super chat right here from Kenny Jones says, "Is Bobby Petrino more motivated? Wow, more motivated compared to 2008? I sure would hope so. I need a little bit of that old Coach Petrino back. That would be fun." All right, about to wrap it up. We got Monday Night Football here to talk about. You got the Dolphins playing against, who are they playing against? The Jets. And then you're also going to have the Bengals playing against the Broncos. That'll be later tonight. A nice little Monday night doubleheader. But I also want to give a shout out and a big thank you to everyone. We hit a little milestone, Josh. Look at this. We hit 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube page. And right now we looked at the analytics. And Josh, you told me 4th and 5, the fastest growing show in Arkansas sports media right now. So this is a big thank you to that. We started off having about 80,000 views a month. We just looked at our numbers. Last 28 days, we've had 1.8 million views on all of our platforms. We are heading in the right direction, and we appreciate the subscribes, people that are subscribing, that are donating, that are making all this possible. A lot of work goes in behind this, so we just want to personally thank you for being a part of what we are trying to build here at 4th and 5. Another avenue of sports maybe a little different perspective than you ever had when it comes to watching your favorite team in the Arkansas Razorbacks, we got you covered.
Right.
So thanks so much, Josh. I appreciate you. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here at the Mainline Sports Bar here at Oaklawn as Monday Night Football gets underway. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the rest of the week. We got a whole lineup for you. And once again, thank you to each and every subscriber. You're making all this happen for us here.